Have you ever wondered what would have happened if you picked a different choice in Cyberpunk 2077? This game is packed with decisions that branch into completely different paths, and most players only ever see one side of the story. Well, in this series I'll call Cyberpunk's What If, I'll be showing you exactly what happens if you went with the other option instead of the one you picked. And to kick things off, we're starting with one of the first major choice-driven missions in the game, which is the pickup mission. This is a setup mission you do for the job Dexter Tishon gives you. Basically, the goal of the mission is to get the flathead from Royce and his gang. There are a couple of choices you can make that determine how the mission plays out. The first big choice is whether you meet up with Meredith Stout, the Militech contact, before heading in, or just ignore her completely and go straight to Jackie outside the Maelstrom hideout to start the deal. From there things branch out even more, because the second and third outcomes are influenced by whether or not you choose to meet up with Stout or not. Let's start with what happens if you ignore Stout and go straight to Jackie. You head into the Maelstrom hideout and face Royce directly. He won't hand over the flathead unless you pay, so your only option is to take it by force. This kicks off a full-on firefight. You and Jackie have to fight your way through Royce and his entire gang to escape with the flathead. And here's the interesting part. This choice has consequences beyond the mission. While riding around Night City afterwards, some of Royce's surviving Maelstrom crew recognizes you and attacks you in the streets. So even in the very first mission, your decision to go in guns blazing changes how the world reacts to you. Now if you meet up with Meredith, she'll give you a Militech credchip that's been infected with malware. At this point you have a few ways things can unfold. Either you can hack the credchip and give it to Royce, or give it to Royce later. Let's start with what happens if you hack the credchip. After hacking it, when you hand it over to Royce inside the hideout, V tells him it was infected and that you helped him. Royce checks it and sees the truth. That's when Militech soldiers attack the building. You and Jackie fight alongside Maelstrom to escape, and outside you see Anthony Gilchrist, who tells you he's in charge now and that Star was demoted for sending the Militech soldiers to attack the base. Before we move on to the next outcome, here's a quick tip. If you're wondering who the mole is during the mission, you can actually find out while playing the pickup. I've made a full video showing exactly how to discover the mole, and you can check it out by clicking the link right here. Now let's move on to what happens if you don't hack the cred chip. If you skip the hack and hand the chip over as is, Royce and his crew quickly realize it's a setup. The whole place turns into a war zone. You fight through waves of the game, take down Royce as a mini-boss and escape with the flathead. After escaping the hideout, you find Meredith outside. She's pleased with you and may call you later for, let's just say, a more personal follow-up. Here's a less obvious path. Inside the hideout, Dum Dum tells Jackie to sit down on the couch. If you refuse to calm Jackie and don't get him to sit, a full-on fight breaks out inside the hideout. You end up battling the Maelstrom gang before even seeing Royce. In this scenario, Royce only appears at the very end of the mission as a mini-boss, so your path through the hideout is completely different from the usual fight sequence. What's interesting is how this single mission has ripple effects later in the game. Ignoring Meredith can trigger random Maelstrom ambushes around the city. Meeting Meredith ties you with Militech and can alter your relationship with Maelstrom, and the Dum Dum trigger creates an entirely different fight sequence inside the hideout. What this really shows is how much detail the developers put into making the game. If this is what they did for a single mission, it's no wonder Cyberpunk 2077 feels so alive and full of surprises. Every choice, no matter how small, can drastically change your experience. So which path did you take in the pickup? Did you ignore Meredith and go straight in guns blazing? Trust the chip? Or discover the hidden Dum Dum fight? Drop your answer in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe, because in Cyberpunk's What If we'll be exploring every major choice the game throws at you.